So it is 5:15. It's actually really nice out, but we are getting ready to, gonna get back in the light here, head to Tucson to take care of a client that we have out there. So gotta unpack the truck, pack the truck up. Probably should have done this last night, but whatever, it's all good. We'll keep you guys around for the journey. Usually we bring in our own compost, but this job was actually in Tucson, and so there is a local provider down there, Tank's Green Stuff, and that's what we were using. It did have a little bit of a manure, kind of ammonia smell to it, but it was really well sifted, and it wasn't near as bad as anything that I've seen in the past. It was good stuff, and I would recommend using it. But my standards of compost are pretty high because I've been doing this myself for a long time. And if you do it on a large scale, sometimes it just becomes a little unmanageable to keep those temperatures and whatnot in check. So that is why I smell the compost, and that's why I always tell people the nose knows. You can see Shayna in the mini orchard there, and what she is doing is spreading the compost around and then adding a woody mulch. The woody mulch is going to really lock in the moisture. It's going to add to the compost as well. It's going to passively break down just from the microbiology and the addition of water from the irrigation system. That is not only going to maintain those trees, but it's also going to feed them moving forward.
How much do you love doing irrigation?
I don't like doing irrigation. But I don't like how other people do irrigation because it's just something that has to be done properly, and it's very tedious, and it's very like linear and organized, and that is not me. But yeah. So I'm not really a big fan of irrigation. All right, guys, so got most of this irrigation laid down, and what we've got going on here is a 1/4 inch delivery system. And then again, they've got emitters every 6 inches. This is going to saturate pretty well and really give us some even watering. Some tips and tricks with this is don't run your lines too long, because what will end up happening is you'll have a lot of pressure up front, and then as it gets farther, 30-40 feet, that pressure is going to diminish, and the volume of water also is going to be lessened. And what will happen is you'll have wet, 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 drier, 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 and then dry at the end. Also, I do recommend that you kind of stake these down, either there was some irrigation staples, or this is just what he had on hand, so we're going ahead and using that. I usually like to space these lines, again, about 8 to 10 inches apart. And yeah, this is a nice little system. You can kind of... So this soil's pretty dry right now, so I'll be sure to saturate it after. But getting some leafy greens in here, starting off with a little arugula. What I like to do with greens like arugula is we'll plant these plants, but then I'll also sprinkle some seeds around, because this is gonna grow up and be ready to eat pretty quick. So there's a technique called succession planting, where you space out your seed or your planting so you have a continuous harvest. It's really good in the fall in Phoenix or Tucson or similar desert climates, because we do have 6 months now of pretty moderate temperature. Also going to kind of pair these up and do a lot of leafy greens in this space. It's kind of got a little bit of protection here and shade. What do we got here? Just a red romaine. Same deal. And I will also additionally plant some seeds around that as well, and also make a little bit of a well there. So this should be really good. You lazy dog? You tired, dog? All right, what you got going on there, Shayna?
I'm about to plant some broccoli.
Yeah?
Yes. And I'm just trying to decide where, because that cabbage is going to get big and that cabbage is going to get big. Maybe like right here?
Sounds good to me. Coming together here, guys. Green bean is taking breaks. What are we going to do with you? You got to work. Hey guys, thanks so much for sticking around for this much of the video. After the job, we were pretty beat. We had to drive back to Phoenix, so we didn't really get any more content. Took an Epsom salt bath. That's kind of like my jam after a hard day of work. And rubbed some CBD lotion on my back. The link is actually in the description for that. You get 15% off. We've got a lot of really cool stuff coming up too. I haven't really announced anything yet, but we're working on some really big projects for other people and maybe for us. So again, thanks so much. Let us know how you like the content. Be sure to like and subscribe the video so we can get on that YouTube algorithm, and appreciate it, guys. If you have questions, drop them in the comments. Have a good day. With one strap.